Good afternoon. I'm your RevFoXX streaming host, Sentinel. Today, October 29th, 2022, RevFoXX joins Kellie-Jay in another leg of her tour, this time in Austin, Texas. Austin was originally named Waterloo by her English settlers in 1830, incorporated in 1836 to the Republic of Texas, and then renamed to Austin in 1839. Austin was preceded by 7 other sites as the capital of Texas: Washington on the Brazos, Harrisburg, Galveston, Velasco, Columbia, and Houston. Like most cities, Austin is known by other names, such as the City of the Violet Crown, for how the surrounding hills look purple during twilight, River City, because the Colorado River runs through the city, and Bat City, for the colony of bats residing under the Congress Avenue Bridge. Austin has also been referred to as Moscow in the Colorado and a cranberry in tomato soup for the inhabitants considered out of place and their political leanings. Politics aside, Austin is known as the live music capital of the world and has an eclectic showcase of rising country, rock, and blues artists that could one day put it on the map like Memphis and Nashville. Austin is the only city in the world with operational moonlight towers dating back to 1894. Only 13 of the original 31 towers remain, but the dwindling number has not diminished the civic pride they bring to Austin. Join us for this gathering of men and women with Kellie-Jay as they stand, advocating the preservation of women and children, basic boundaries and safeguards, and the need to liberate from institutional capture at home and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATX, the last and final capital of the Lone Star State.
What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being a international catchphrases. How good are they? Okay, so we're here today to say the words out loud that some of you are no longer allowed to say, which is women don't have penises, that it's wrong to transition children, that it's medical abuse to give children puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and 13-year-old girls double mastectomies. We are going to say words like men cannot be women, men are not welcome in our spaces. Changing your biological sex is absolutely impossible, and that a woman doesn't need a religious belief in order to know that men cannot be women. Don't have to be a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu. You can just be a woman with, I don't know, a brain. So these events are really important, and I know that some of you will have seen what happened in Tacoma, and the fact that we had to switch. I think it was a great decision. I still stand by the decision that I tried to keep myself and other women as safe as possible. We didn't quite achieve it in Tacoma, and April, with trans activists' bare hands, otherwise known as a man, he just crushed her hand and broke her fingers with his own, which is, you know, this is what we're facing. I'm not saying that anyone's going to get their hand broken today, and I'm very pleased to be surrounded by strapping men. But I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but that's the risk. And if it's not physical assault and injury, it's abuse, it's your jobs, it's your livelihoods, and the worst of all, it's taking your children into this cult. So we as women, we call it Let Women Speak because women chose those words for ourselves. It's not because I think we should ask, it's not a beg, it's a Let Women Speak, because when we were in Nottingham, in the UK, a group of trans activists tried to shut us down, so the women organically just came up with Let Women Speak, and we have held on to it because, if nothing else, what we do here at Standing for Women and with Let Women Speak is we literally are guided by women that come to our events. This is not a hierarchy, this is not a community even. This is just a place in which we say to any woman, whatever your views, you have a place to talk, and it's really absolutely vital. Okay, how it goes is we'd like to keep your speeches as long or as short, as long as necessary, as short as possible, so that as many women as possible get their chance to speak. So we're going to start with a lesser spotted Canadian feminist, Megan Murphy.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming. I love Austin. I'll take any excuse to be here, especially if Posey's going to be here. I can't switch over to Kellie-Jay, sorry. So I apologize for reading off of my phone. I know that, I love talking, but I need notes for this. First of all, thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for being courageous enough to show up to support women's rights. It's very scary to speak about these things, especially in public, especially with all the violence that we've witnessed. We saw women attacked, as Posey mentioned, in Portland and Tacoma, and of course this has been going on since the moment we started saying things like men are never women. The things that I want to say about this are so simple and straightforward that I almost feel stupid saying them. But there's no such thing as a trans person. That's not a thing that exists. There's no such thing as a trans child. There's no such thing as a person who's changed sex. Conversations about trans rights are pointless and incoherent, and that's because there's no category of trans people. There's men and women and boys and girls, and that's it. We haven't evolved past nature. Your thesis paper has not trumped biology. What we have been enmeshed in now for years is not a debate about so-called trans rights, but that's okay. But about whether or not men have the right to access women's change rooms, women's shelters, be transferred into women's prisons, compete in sport with and against women. And this is all because a very small group of entitled fetishists demand they be centered in every conversation. And because of this small group of men, we have been destroying the bodies and lives of kids who are tragically surrounded by adults who want to impose their narcissistic ideologies on children who don't know any better. The fact that we even need to have these conversations is insane, but we do, so here we are. And meanwhile, progressives and so-called feminists have sat back and watched women who speak the truth about this insanity be harassed, threatened, attacked, fired, censored, libeled, ostracized, and vilified. Our lives are in danger, and those who claim love is love would love to see us dead for speaking the truth. Many more have, thank goodness, begun to speak out now, years after women like myself and many other women here, including, of course, Posey. We warned about what was going to happen early on. Women spoke about this early on and predicted what was going to happen, and we could never have even predicted how bad things have gotten. We predicted that gender identity ideology and legislation would trump women's rights, but I don't know that any of us, I certainly did not predict that we would be mutilating kids' bodies in defense of this ideology. Just because so many adults are too cowardly to say no. And, I've become sort of loath to fall back on sexism as we've started to blame various isms without thinking or engaging in more nuanced analysis. But I can't help but point out that it was women who warned about this first, and it was women who weren't listened to. The sad truth is that most would prefer to go along rather than rock the boat. And that's why we need leaders, the kinds of people who cannot simply go along when they see something wrong or dangerous is happening. Women like Posey, Mary Lou, Michelle, Isabella, all of the rest of you here. These people are punished the most, but without them, we wouldn't see any change or mass movements to fight back, which I believe we're seeing right now. I believe we are seeing pushback. One of the reasons that we speak out, even though it's scary, even when we're ignored, even when we're punished, is because we need to show other people that they can stand up, that they can say things like, men aren't women, there's no such thing as a trans child, we can't mutilate the bodies of kids. It sometimes feels like we're winning, but it's been a slow road, and we're still faced with so many people with power and privilege, the entertainment industry, big tech, the Democrats, claiming that men are women and that there is such a thing as a trans kid and that those kids have to be medicalized. We're living in crazy times that are frankly embarrassing. The fact that history books will look back on this time as a time when the population went along with the ridiculous lie that men can be women if they say so is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know if the history books will recall that we did fight back, but we did, and we are, I think, making a difference. And we're paving the way for women like Tulsi Gabbard and J.K. Rowling, and for young women athletes and advocates for female inmates, and just regular women, regular people to speak up. And we're enabling countless others to speak up and say, men aren't women, though.
come here on behalf of the silent majority of women. Like them, I asked myself, who am I to speak? I told myself, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm no activist or feminist. Feminism doesn't want me.
Hey guys!
And the feeling is mutual. So who am I to speak up? To speak out.
Let her speak. Trans liberation! Go home! Let women speak! 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 What happened? What happened to your speech? Turn down yourselves! Turn fuck off! 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 Get out! Nobody wants to hear you! Let's go, haters! Let's go, get out! Turn fuck off! Turn fuck off! Turn fuck off! Let's go home! Turn fuck off!
A body that is both divine and worthy. But I am also more than my body. Because womanhood is more than hips and breasts and sex appeal. It's not a costume that I can take on and off. It's just who I am. And if I am a woman, who am I not to speak up, to speak out? I am the voice of the silent majority of women. They did not ask me to speak for them. Like me, they do not think they should speak. After all, it's not their fight. They're busy with soccer games and diapers and their careers and their church groups. They are just living out their tired, busy lives, trying to get it all done. So I speak to them, the silent majority. I know too much now to justify silence. I am here because of the detransition of... I have listened to them silently for years. I have listened to their story. I have wept for you over my screen. Because, as if you were my own daughters, because you could be. You are all of our daughters and all of our sisters. You showed me how to be courageous and how to speak the truth, and standing for women gave me a voice. do? If not now, then when?
You're covering the mic. You're covering the camera, so you don't hold it with that. Yep. Can you do that?
We see you. We see you. Big angry men. Did mommy not love you very much? If you would have picked any reason you would have found to share a woman in the street. Any reason. Oh, go and date a trans woman then. All the people making a noise. Except these two moronic turkeys voting for Christmas lesbians here. Anyway, right. There's a man losing his voice. It's going to be great when he does. Right. So, we are going to continue because what we're not going to do is we're going to not let these men win because our men are bigger. Okay, Trish.
Hey there. I just want to tell you, I'm from Austin, and these guys are just typical, ridiculous, little tiny penis boys who come out for all these stupid things. Like, I mean, really, come on. Get another habit. Get another thing to do, you idiots. Yeah, they're real. Okay, so I'm just going to keep talking, and you guys, I know the people out there can hear me. Yeah, little penis. Oh. So anyway, good afternoon. Welcome to Austin. I have been here for 25 years, and I have marched for women, and I have seen these little blowhards in our bars and all around, and they're just scared. They're just scared. Poor little boys. So I identify as a feminist, a mother, a wife, a daughter. I do not identify as a woman because I am a woman. And for those of you in the back, a woman is an adult human female. I also do, you guys are gonna be, I'm a card-carrying Democrat, liberal, crazy girl, and I believe that life begins at conception because that is a biological reality. That does not make me anti-choice or against bodily autonomy. In fact, I am pro-choice, liberal, veto-supporting, left-leaning Democrat who is and always will be women and girls first. And I believe no one, especially men, has the right to tell me what to do with my body. It is mine and mine alone. Now, because of my belief in biological reality, because of science, because of my deepest respect for the female body and the female experience, that I am here today. That's why I'm here. I do not believe in any way, shape, or form that anyone, male or female, is born in the wrong body. I did a presentation once in college in a marketing class that was about 1990. I got a 98, and my old white male professor told me it was one of the best and unique presentations he'd ever seen. It was on the sexualization of women in advertising. This was before computers, so I had cut out pictures of advertisements for makeup, shoes, cigarettes, clothing, cars, household products, you name it. As I moved through the images, I spoke to each one. I noted how women were being sexualized in pictures by having their legs spread apart.
laying down on the ground while men hover above them. How these images portray them as inferior objects put in humiliating positions. I have always spoken out against this, and now it should be no surprise that 30 years later I continue to do so. Never did I think that I would have to be fighting this hard 30 years later against the sexualization of girls and women through an ideology called trans. As a mother who for 5 years produced and created an event focused on the power of motherhood, I would be a hypocrite if I did not disagree with identity politics. And my belief always has been that women and girls are powerful and that we can not only take over the world, we can make it a better place. The trans ideology does not support this long-held belief. When men can claim our motherhood, our unique and beautiful femaleness, and our experience of womanhood and motherhood as their own, they take away our accomplishments, safety, and they take away our power. This is all done in the name of inclusion. But I ask all of you, how is it inclusive if 50% of the population is excluded? I ask you these questions as I wrap up. What happened? What happened to our fight to raise up girls? To let girls be whoever they want to be, as is. What happened to so-called body positivity? Why are we affirming surgeries and hormones? Perfectly healthy kids. When all we really need to be focusing on is affirming how great they are and how as is, feminine, masculine, whatever they are, why are we affirming that they need to change based on stereotypes, and societal expectations? And finally, who is profiting off of all of this?
Way to go!
These very angry young men who I believe are dating men. He sounds like we're getting class information.
You're the fuck out of my ear! Get the fuck out of my
Liberation! Okay, we're going to keep going because go and date a trans woman. Some old ones, what they're saying is they like the idea of 13-year-old girls having double mastectomies at the altar of transgenderism. What these men are saying when they tell us all to go home is they're saying that they don't think women should come out in the public space and say that no, women don't have penises. No men in women's sports. No men in women's jails. And nobody born male is ever a lesbian. Who's next?
to give them the vote. The DC police arrested them, took them to DC jail. They didn't have room for them there, so they sent them to a workhouse, Uncle Crime workhouse in Fairfax, Virginia. They were beaten, they were tortured, they were given food with maggots in it. They could not get out. So, at least in 1917, they knew what women were. Now we have men in women's jails with them. Now we have males in locker rooms with teenage girls. This is a record of my dissent. This is the sound of a woman saying no. No. No.
You are a groomer. You are a groomer.
Women are adult human females. They are not males with an ideal inside their head. Thank you. Men intimidating women. That guy looks about 60. He knows what a woman is. You're a groomer. My dad's bigger than yours. My name is Michelle. I'm owning TERF, Trans Exclusionary Republican Female. I am a mother, a wife, a daughter, and a sister. And in order to be all of these things, I've had to live through the unique and wonderful experience of being a female from the womb to now. This is the experience I wish for my daughters who have been female since conception and will remain female throughout their lifetime. This cannot and should not be altered or denied. Being a woman means enduring joy and pain, awkwardness and insecurity, sisterhood and isolation, and distinct power and victimization. Our reality is one that necessitates protection and a right to consent. My female reality is not a costume I can remove. It isn't the makeup I put on or the clothes that I wear. It is a privilege I enjoy and a burden I carry, and can't be replicated by artificially achieving a hormone level or undergoing cosmetic surgery. My risk of being victimized by a man is not reduced by denying biological sex or removing sex-based protection. We live in unprecedented times in which speaking about the truth is considered violence and should beget physical violence in response, in which our young girls are being taught to shelve their instincts and their desire for self-preservation in favor of boys' feelings, in which our young girls are promised a better and less painful future if they change their pronouns and remove their healthy body parts. I do not consent. My daughters do not consent. My son will not be taught to ignore a girl's right to consent. I will teach my daughters that their womanhood is truly immutable and truly amazing. I will teach my son that his biological sex is equally amazing and also obligates him to protect and defend, not appropriate and violate. So today, on behalf of my daughters and my mother, and every woman I know and love, I say no. No to males in our spaces. No to society perpetuating harmful lies. No to children being unwitting participants in validating adults' issues. Leave us alone. Leave our kids alone. I call on the elected officials in these buildings surrounding us to be bold and stand with women. Stand for free speech. Stand with children's right to develop and have a future free from pain and irreparable harm. Stand for safety for girls and stand with truth.
must say, Michael Moore's let himself go. Right, who would like to be next? You just said fun. Whatever happened to laryngitis? I think we should bring that back. My name is Gabrielle Clark, and I guarantee you can't be louder than me. I guarantee you can't be bigger than me. I guarantee you can't be more motivating than me. And then look at this. These fucking clowns out here. There's no trans people out here. Who are they? What are they? They're nothing. And I'm going to tell you something. There is no child born in a wrong body. Okay? That is a lie. That is a myth. Every child born is perfect as they are. If they are suffering from problems, we help them. We do not cut body parts off of them. They are people. They are our families. They are our children. I fight indoctrination in schools every day. You better go Google me, bitch. Google me, bitch. My name is Gabrielle Clark, and I fight indoctrination every day. When they came for my kid, I pulled my daughter out of that cult. You can pull your kids out of these cults. Forget these people. They cannot tell us who we are. I am a woman. Every single cell in my body, from my hair follicles to my toenails, is female. Every single one. And you can't stop us. And you can't tell us who we are. And you can't take our children. You can't have our society. You're weak. That's why you have to come and fight a bunch of women. Punk ass. Well, I agree. I don't think anyone can be louder. So thank you so much. That was well needed. It's literally a group of blokes. There's Michael Moore's younger, less attractive brother over there, and then there's some boys that have just about escaped their mother's basement. So one of them looks about 45. So okay. I want to know from these people when they talk about trans liberation, they literally mean they want men in women's locker rooms. Trans liberation means they want to cut off the body parts of our kids. Trans liberation means they want to give men access to women in prisons. It's no liberation. When these people talk about live and let live, they ain't talking about women. They're talking about men. Let men live and let live. Let men do what the hell they want. But women, we don't even get a voice, sometimes in our own movement. Now, conservative men, I'm really happy to have you on board. But this is our train. This is women's train. We are driving it. You are welcome to join in. But you are not welcome to drive. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?
Hello. I did not expect to say anything today, but I think it's a great opportunity to just let all of us know here and acknowledge the fact that we know that they know what they're doing. They don't care about trans people. They don't care about men. They don't care about women. They don't care about children. This is the perfect, most ingenious cover ever created to unleash their disgusting hatred of women out in a way that will get them applause, likes, sponsorships, partnerships, and invited to the White House. So we know what they're really saying. And it's about time they know that we know. Because we can all What about trans men? They seem to know who the men and who the women are by their distinct omission of protecting trans men because they know that they're women and pose no threat. So, we all know what's going on. All of the empty slogans and chants, they're not effective anymore. So, let's just get it out in the open. You're not bothering us except for the noise level. That's it. We know, you know, we're all on the same page. Thank you.
Oh gosh, Jesus. You know, I am an atheist, but sometimes I wish the Lord was smart. Who else would like to speak? Come on.
Hi, I'd just like to take a second to personally thank every single woman out here that's over the age of 40. I have a serious belief that all of the older women doing all of the work because y'all have already spent decades upon decades of being yelled over and trampled on and stomped on by men. This doesn't bother you because you've been doing it for 40 plus years already. I had my first experience as what it means to be a woman in America when I was 10 years old, being sexualized by my friend's uncle. That's not something I identified into. It's not something I asked for. It's something that happened to me because of the body that I was born in. You can't identify your way into or out of oppression. It is impossible. And no matter what happens, more and more women are going to speak up on men being let into their prisons, raping their women, impregnating them while they are incarcerated. We will not stand for it, and these groups are going to get larger and larger no matter how hard you try to scream over us. All of the white men in the fucking world will not quiet us.
To be honest, I don't know where she got the idea that anyone was over 40. Who else would like to speak? Come on, would you like to speak? Yes. Come on.
You don't like it, that's what's wrong with you, motherfucker.
Pro-lives matter! Pro-lives matter! Women's lives matter! Women's lives matter! Girls' lives matter! Girls' lives matter! Poor lives matter! Poor lives matter! I'm Marjorie. I came all the way from Dallas. Glad to be here. Glad the weather's cooperating. They're more of us than them. They're all white males showing their white male privilege without shame. They do it in a black lady right in front of my eyes. We are on the right side of history. And I appreciate everyone coming out. I appreciate all the women. I appreciate the male supporters. I appreciate everyone. And these false acts do not respect their elders. I'm a lifelong feminist, lifelong pro-choice, lifelong anti-war. I am not a conservative. I I was a tomboy. I still am non-conforming. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear a bra. I'm not more than a little body. I'm not a man. Wearing a bra does not make me a woman. Having 2 X chromosomes does. Shame on these ball sacks. Shame on them. I appreciate everyone coming out. Thank you.
For me, works a dream. This is going to sound prejudiced against you Americans, but you really don't say fuck off very well. It just sounds so much better with a proper English accent. Especially if you're looking like a ex-meth Michael Moore. I wish you could see their faces, because we know that they aren't even legends in their own households. Very, very angry. These men are really angry. I guess if I cared enough, I'd ask why. What has made these men so angry? Maybe they can't get a decent job. I would doubt if they could. Not everyone can be on YouTube. Maybe they just feel disenfranchised. Maybe they've been given a ticket out of being so mediocre. And they can find a nice little outlet for their misogyny. Well, not today, boys. Okay, so just to remind you. Right, let me remind you. No woman has a penis. No man has a vagina. Men cannot give birth. No one with a penis can be a lesbian. No one's gonna date you. And there is no such thing as a trans child. It is language to enable the most profound, despicable, disgusting bodily autonomy abuse against children. In the United States of America, you will take the breasts of a 13-year-old girl if she says she's a boy. If you don't believe me, phone your local gender clinic or hospital. They will sterilize your children. As soon as that child says I'm trans, they're on a road to being neutered, to being sterilized, to having their fertility taken and their sexual function stolen. This is not something we're making up. If you don't believe us, go and look it up. Now, I don't know about you, and I'm going to guess these men have no idea, but sex as an adult is actually quite nice. Only the most abusive virginal men would insist that they can steal the sexual function of children, meaning they can never have an intimate relationship as adults. Or, and here's a theory, that they want to keep children like children. That they're pedophiles, and they want access to children even when they're old enough to consent. Okay, groomer. So, you might say pedophile, that might have got lost in translation. So, my view is that men like, especially him with the Antifa flag, they are basically pedophiles who want to see children's bodies mutilated. They want children to be made infertile. They want to steal their sexual function. Look at the state of them. Yeah, Michael Moore, after meth. Okay, who's next?
mother. I am a mother. I am a daughter. I am a daughter. I am a sister. You know what they want? They want our language. They want our language. You want our language. And you know what? They can't have it. They can't have it. Women say no. Women say no. You can't have it. You can't have it. You know what they want? They want our history. They want to rewrite women's history. And you know what? Women say no. Women say no. They want access to everything we have built and fought for as women. They want to destroy it. These are men who hate women. I want you to see, this is the face of trans activism. These are the faces of trans activism. Men who hate women. Okay, Americans, we're going to wrap up now. The midterms are coming up. If you don't use your vote, at least use your voice. If you feel that now is not the time to flip party or tell you if you feel nobody stands for you, that's fine. But go along to the meetings and tell your representatives why you've decided not to vote or why you've decided to switch. For those of you that have just joined, let me tell you, these men, they want to endorse the double mastectomies of 13-year-old girls who say they're boys. In your children's schools in Texas, they will be teaching those kids that they can choose their biological sex. Those men behind me, they get off on that idea. Those men behind me are happy that we've got male rapists in women's prisons. But in American prisons right now, they give out condoms in the women's prisons because there are so many men who sex offended in prison with women serving time. There are men up and down the country pretending to be women in your domestic violence shelters, in your refuges. They are taking low oppression points away from people genuinely leading a leg up. Michael Moore's brother on meth behind, what he wants is he wants to sterilize children. That's what he's talking about. So, if you value the women around you, if you think, God no, women don't have penises, but my elderly parent, or my young daughter, or my wife, or my sister deserve space away from men when they're in a state of undress, when they feel vulnerable, if they've been attacked. If you feel at any point that women deserve space away from men, then you have to let your electorate know. You have to let your representatives know. Because right now, the fascists shouting behind me, they're trying to pretend that as an act of love, they want men in women's spaces. And an act of kindness, they want to mutilate the bodies of children. We have absolutely had enough. More and more women are beginning to speak up. And so far, some of us have paid some hefty prices. I hope his voice hurts. Okay, so, look, if you can focus on the task at hand and not be distracted, it's fuck off. Right, if you cannot be distracted by men that wish to silence you, then I promise we will win. If you can ensure you want to protect the bodily autonomy of children, and you do not consent to their bodies being broken, irreparably damaged, then I promise we will win. If you can find your courage and you can speak with conviction, I promise we will win. And you know why else we're going to win? Because I never lose. Go and find a wife.
one with a penis. It's okay to be gay. If you want to date someone with a penis, they don't need to be a woman. Thank you so much to all of you that came out. Special thanks to Trish and Michelle, the organising team. It was amazing. Thank you for coming, Megan. Right, and that's it. Let's find a bar, maybe.
Good idea. Well, thanks for Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, they're making because the anti-fascists were not some of our daddies had to go fight for the war, and the Axis powers, they were the original anti-fascists, not these punks.
Yeah.
No, they defeated fascism.
Yeah, I call it part of the occupied forces of man.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is being streamed on RevFoXX, by the way.
Okay. My father was the first lieutenant in Green. And he had those
James, Michelle, we're going to take you. Michelle. Security girl. We always got to get our picture so I can make a meme.
As we close out the speeches this afternoon, we wanted to thank our ground team for their time and presence, the speakers who ventured forward to raise their voices, Kellie-Jay Keen for taking time to visit and inspiring more men and women, and to our sponsors of both Kellie-Jay Keen and RevFoXX. Know your continued support helps bring coverage to these events and produce more material to inform and activate the public. In the words of Gabrielle Clark, activate yourself. I'm Sentinel, your RevFoXX host this afternoon, signing off. Thank you and have a safe Halloween.